Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all. What's happening? Remnantsgathering here. Cam and Ernest. No, just check that.
That's cool. It's cool. Y'all know we ain't got no damn intro. But anyway, make a long story short.
Yeah.
We couldn't go live today. We are, hands been kind of full, trying to get our baby girl healthier and everything. So, but we always want to make sure that we keeping our word and bringing content.
Yeah. Certainly.
So, we, and again, our channel is just about supporting the imperfect things and not having to be perfect in everything that you do, because a lot of us are like that. And so, yeah, we kind of gonna leave this blooper in there of us trying to say peace to y'all. Yeah. So we hope y'all, this finds you in a good place. But if it doesn't, hopefully the information that we give you will help you be able to shift.
That's right.
I guess we should start saying the date.
Yeah.
If it's your first time meeting us, I'm Camson.
And I'm Ernest.
and we are Remnantsgathering.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
And today is November the 3rd, 2019.
Yeah. So, one of the light codes that Cam received and we have been dealing with and talking about is dealing with our twin flame and soulmate experience. And one of the lessons for the week that's really been, it's really been heavy, is the fact that we as twin flames are melanated beings and soulmates are being called to help each other. We're called to help each other heal the generational trauma stemming from before the womb, in the womb, and the first couple of years of our lives. I personally have been dealing. It's been harder for me in dealing with that because so much of my childhood and so much of my adulthood I've been dealing with basically not being connected and not being connected to self. Some of the things that have really stemmed has been my inability to be sensitive. And so the insensitive aspect of me causes me to be triggered repeatedly all the time, and I go from 0 to 100. And it's always ugly, And then on top of that, learning that I'm a dismissive, avoidant type of love attachment style, it causes me to not even deal with it. I can easily go from 0 to 100 and then basically be like Casper, poof, I'm out, And so there's no way to deal with any of the trauma, but especially there's not a act of making myself present in every moment and truly being accountable and authentic as we attempt to grow through this and develop through this together. And so I'm planning on doing a further in-depth talk or video on it where I can really pinpoint some of the examples and some of the issues that I had. And it's not only to help myself, but I'm knowing and learning now that a lot of us are dealing with this and a lot of us are going through this in our twin flame soulmate dynamic relationships, and especially for the divine masculine. There are so many things that we got to get together in order to be able to be truly aligned with our divine feminine. Whether we're talking about our counterpart or whether we're talking about just within ourselves, our balance of divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy. And so I'm gonna deal with that more, but just continuing on.
Strengthen our bones.
Yeah, we're dealing with this, and many of you may be dealing with this, and maybe not realizing that the purpose of it all is to strengthen your bond. Our higher selves seem to be orchestrating trials as a way of an initiation into higher dimensional love and unity. The only reasons that problems exist is to give us an opportunity to create solutions, y'all. And so you realize, you experience these issues, these problems, time and time again. But how can we grow and how can we be our best version of ourselves if we're not put through the fire, so to speak? And so these trials that come, it allows us to exercise the higher ground. It allows us to exercise the ability to make the right decision, to better learn ourselves. And so just remember that don't despise the trials. Don't despise the trouble that you may be experiencing within yourself and within your relationship, because it only comes to give you an opportunity to meet that solution.
Absolutely. And one thing that he mentioned I'm going to add before we go to the next segment of the show would be, if you do not know your love attachment, go to personal development on YouTube, and so that you can learn about the different types of love attachment. Because think about it, if you don't know anything about how your bond in love was created and your patterns, and there are names for it, and it's typically 4 main love attachments. But go to personal development channel on YouTube and see which love attachment you are. If you have trouble finding it, all you got to do is look through the history on our channel and you'll see all the videos that we have been watching. That's why we leave that public, so that you all are able to watch the things that we're watching. So go and learn about your love attachment so that you can better understand you and your spouse. Okay? So the next part of the show, I want to talk about our programming that is keeping us in lack. And this is not just financially, this is mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, spiritually, being stuck and frozen. And some of us have mastered some of those areas, but not others, and vice versa. So I'm going to share this light code with you all that I received through something me and Ernest was dealing with. But first I want to start off by saying the program is a very pessimistic program. Okay? Our program, all of us, everybody listen to this video. If you've been born into this world, you have a very pessimistic programming that is automated. It is an automatic thing. It's just like your eyes blinking.
Got a default.
Yeah. You only have to think about it to do it. So we see the glass half empty. And you usually don't need anybody to help you see that. We don't need any help focusing on the empty part of the glass. So we must learn to focus on the part of the glass that is full. You have to teach this to yourself and train your brain to see the full portion of the glass. Otherwise, you'll continue to be in lack, because lack is the main thing you identify with. That is why it is the first thing you focus on, or the first thing that you notice when you look at a situation, which we are comparing to glasses of water. And one of the examples of this, in how trials and tribulation present themselves to help you to be able to see the glass half full and to challenge you so that you can become your higher self. So I suffer with insomnia, and it is really, really, really bad. And so this week, I was tired. I've been up through the nights, helping with our daughter and everything. So I was super tired. But my daughter needed me to babysit. Well, watch our grandson needed to be watched. I ain't gonna call it babysit. Right. But I also had our daughter who was sick. So this was a huge challenge for me, because on top of all of this, I've been running a low-grade fever. And when the seasons change, my sickle cell tends to be sporadic and a little bit more difficult to keep control of. So I'm dealing with a lot at one time.
Right.
Okay. But what I went into it with a positive mindset. I had set the intention and decided to use my free will, that I was not going to allow that situation to be overwhelming for me or put me into a vibration that's going to be in resistance to the abundance that I've been attempting to manifest. So what ended up happening was, I was so freaking tired that for the very first time, I actually fell asleep. I didn't have to take my medicine to sleep. I didn't have to take anything for my anxiety. I didn't have to meditate for 2 hours. Like I usually have to do a lot just to go to sleep. But look, it manifested through a trial or a tribulation or a challenge. So I need y'all to understand the law of attraction, the laws of the universe are always working. But what you're getting is because of what you're giving, whether you see the connections or not. And the only way to shift out of that is to face the challenges that come your way. Because the challenges give birth to the things that you have been praying for, meditating for, rituals, ceremonies, aka what we call meta prayer. The challenges is going to give birth to that. So accept the trials as a gift or a path to get what you desire. If you focus on the lack, then more money or abundance of anything is not going to come because you feed the vibration of lack. You're not feeding the vibration of abundance. And the laws of the universe and vibration, it resonates on whatever elevation it's on. Okay?
Kind of like that frequency.
And so a lot of us, the energetic shift right now is forcing us to slow down, to speak slower, to listen slower, to make decisions slower, to not do things in haste, but to be strategic, to be intentional, to be deliberate, to get the outcomes that we want. And that's why it feels uncomfortable. That's why you may be feeling more dense than usual. That's why it feels like energy just drags and it's shit just always dragging you down, because we're being pressed to slow down. Okay? So understand that for those of you who have been doing rituals for material wealth, truth be told, a lot of us aren't ready to receive what we've been doing rituals and praying and meditating and asking for. And I say that because if you cannot handle what's on your plate without being overwhelmed, your spirit guides, thankfully, and all the unseen divine help that you have, they're not going to be in alignment for you to receive that, because you already a hot damn mess.
Right.
And they're not here to hurt us. They're here to help us through the ascension process, through this spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
So if you got the $1 million that you've been wanting, you're going to be overwhelmed by all the new issues that more money is going to bring into your life.
Yeah.
And insert whatever you want to there. It may not be money. It may be a relationship.
Yeah. I just wanted to say it's something that you said, that is a reality, because I just read a news article that was dealing with, and I'm not going to state the person's name, but it was dealing with a young lady. And this has been a situation that she was even on Van Zant to Fix My Life. But anyway, she had won the lottery and she went from rags to riches. She had 4 children, and one of her younger children had cerebral palsy, and she worked 2 jobs. And of course, these were some jobs that's kind of like real low income type of earning jobs. But when she won, it ended up boiling down to being like $88 million. That she, after the Uncle Sam got his money, and some other deductions were done, it totaled out to being like 88 million. Well, fast forward through some of the decisions that she made in how to manage this money and what she spent the money on, it got to the point that it was so overwhelming. And we're talking about from dealing with family, we're talking about dealing with a significant other, just all kind of bombardments of different things that was like just draining. But she was able to persevere through, but that was a tough lesson to learn, and that's what Cam is talking about. If we're not ready to receive that abundance like that and able to really manage it, because there will be a lot of stress and a lot of other pulls on us energetically, and that's something that we have to be totally prepared for.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of y'all are not in a reunion with your twin flame physically, or in a relationship with your soulmate, or maybe it seems like all your relationships are more so karmic relationships and you're choosing to stay single because of that. You got to check your heart and make sure that you're ready, because it will make you want to give up, and it'll make you want to quit, and it'll make you want to break up and walk away from a relationship. Whatever it may be you're trying to manifest. So the key here is gratitude, y'all. Gratitude. Where you are right now, give as much gratitude as possible. Your altitude will not change without your gratitude changing. It must match. And if you want to have the altitude of Mount Everest in any area of your life as concerning abundance, then your gratitude is going to have to be the elevation of Mount Everest before you receive it, not after. Okay? So slow down. Think about what you've been trying to manifest. And once you realize the stuff you've been thinking you're ready to get that you're not, accept it. And we're going to go through the triple A's of a spiritual awakening with you all in just a moment after we share this last light code. But the first thing you want to do is become aware of it and then accept the fact that that's where you are. Okay? And give gratitude for wherever you are. But gratitude is the key to elevation to a higher altitude. Okay? The other light code that I receive, that we receive, because a lot of times it's a situation between the two of us that allows these things to come to light. But we got to practice being kind to ourselves when we make mistakes or when we fall into old patterns. Especially when you don't do the very thing that you want to do. You're trying to do the right thing. You know, a simple example could be not saying hurtful stuff or not staying up too late at night because you want to honor your temple. And you know that your temple needs rest, you know, and you're trying to walk a more sacred path. So if you want to watch what you say, you want to think before you speak. If you have been falling backwards, back into patterns and stuff that make you uncomfortable, be encouraged and know that there was something within that lesson that you have not yet learned to support you at this new elevation you want to go to. So that pattern is going to come to the surface again and again and again until you're finally able to get the full lesson within that. Okay? So spiritual ascension, it requires observation of the false self without the self-condemnation. Okay? Religion taught a lot of us that self-condemnation and self-judgment is righteous. So if this was shown in the movie, it would look like a person lashing their own back until it's bloody, because they think that self-condemnation, because we've been programmed to believe that we should judge ourselves to the point of it's not even criticism, constructive. That these are two total different things. We beat ourselves and think that we're being righteous doing it. So even if you have left church, you got on a spiritual path, you're not into religious practices anymore, right? If you're not being kind to yourself when you fall into those old patterns and make mistakes, guess what? You're going to be prohibited from going any further in your spiritual path until you do that. That program is still running in the background of a lot of us, okay? So we do things to ourselves. We do things that cause self-harm. We really do. All of us do. So allowing those critical thoughts to just keep flowing in your head, it's going to make you act a certain way.
That's true. And you end up acting out.
It's going to show in your behavior. You're going to be overly critical towards your children. You ain't going to have mercy and grace towards your children. Y'all remember the scripture that the way the measurement works is that you're extended the same mercy that you give. So if you having a hard time integrating with your higher self, hearing your higher self, so that you can become your higher self, it's because you still have these judgments. You're still critical. You're not kind to yourself. It makes it hard to be kind to other people, including your own children. If that program is still running and you have not served it a decree of divorce and detach and dissolve those energetic cords of that program and begin reprogramming your mind. If you don't do that, then you're going to keep repeating these unhealthy patterns. So religion put us in a vibration of hating the sinful self, or what we know to be the shadow traits in yourself.
Yeah.
This means that we have practiced self-hatred longer than we have practiced self-love. So we're better at self-hatred, and it's something that we do autonomously. We don't even have to think about it. But self-love is going to require you to be deliberate, plan, think about it, set intentions, and actually follow them through. Many of us didn't love ourselves prior to the awakening because we were so damn fed up with our sinful ways. What we were being taught was sinful. So a lot of us came into the awakening carrying this heavy energy of being disappointed with yourself and always feeling like you let yourself down. And that's why in your life, it's showing up in your life in a lot of areas. That lack, that disappointment, being judgmental, passing condemnation, and not being kind keeps showing up in your life because it wants you to know that that program is there and you need to delete the virus. So we had more love for Christ, the Jesus figure, than we did for ourselves because we were taught that he was perfect, right? And we were taught that we were flawed and sinful. And so religion, that particular program, it input self-hatred into our subconscious and unconscious mind, and we're being given the opportunity to purge that so that you can experience your heaven and your reality on earth. We're being tested right now to see if we can love ourselves in the midst of experiencing our weaknesses, the things that we are ashamed of, the things that make us feel guilt, the things that we are not proud of.
So, and as a result of that, we come up with the triple A's. That's awareness, accept, activate, alchemy of the shadow aspects we become aware of within ourselves and others. Pretty much that's self-explanatory. That is the high side of it, or that is the higher ground. And then on the flip side, as we say, so below, what we deal with is the abandoned self. We avoid accountability and we tend to annoy ourselves while blaming others. And so that again is the downside to the triple A's. And again, that is awareness, accepting, activate, alchemy of the shadow aspects we become aware of within ourselves and others.
And this is something we should all be doing right now.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
We're going to put this in the description as well so that you can read it again, because it's a lot of information in those 3 A's. And it's a lot of information in the 3 A's that disconnect you from your higher self. Mm-hmm. So doing the first activity that he just described is going to help you to align with your higher self, align with source energy, so that you can create the life that you desire and overcome these things. And the last triple H, which is abandon the self. This is the shit that we do, that we being purged from and called out of.
Right.
Avoiding accountability. That's the second A. And then, the third A is we become annoyed and we blame other people, other situations. We blame bills, we blame debt, we blame sickness, we blame family, we blame our responsibilities. It's too much on our plate. We find a lot of reasons to be annoyed.
That's right.
But in actuality, you're just annoying your damn self because you know that you sabotage your life and your ability to manifest and create the way you want to.
Yep.
So within these triple A's, they're either going to allow you to integrate with your higher self or be separated from your higher self.
Yeah.
And so just this is something we made up and came up with on our own. And so that's pretty much it for the show. We love to hear what you all think.
Yeah.
We love to see the back and forth conversation that y'all have with each other. We need to do more of that. The more we have fellowship and the more that we talk to each other, the more it's going to help us to grow.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you want to get a reading, just inbox us at remnantsgathering@gmail.com. And typically my readings are for an hour. The prices are kind of changing based on what the needs are of the reading, but just inbox me, and then we'll kind of just discuss it, what you need or what the objective is, what is it you desire to get from the reading, and we'll go from there. But typically my prices start at $35 for an hour, which is a huge difference than most of the tarot card readers, intuitives, and the mediums. And if you just have anything you would like to share with us or for us to know, or some questions, Remnantsgathering at gmail.com.
Right. Yeah. If it's something that you might be dealing with specifically, and you want some advice, or you want another perspective. So, fam, as always, y'all know we're holding virtual hands with you all. Concerns. And we
will your third eye has just been kissed. Peace.